Supercross Live on supercrossonline.com. Kevin Barnett and Jim Holley wrapping up night number 2 in Anaheim of what will be third round of this year's Supercross. Lots of great racing action once again. Jim, this continues to be simply a wild season. We'll start with the 250 class. It was Eli Tomac again, but it took a little bit of work.
It did, and he didn't get the start that he wanted, but out front, I thought Cole Seeley, maybe Seeley's going to win this thing, but about lap 9, Roxon was putting the pressure, and Tomac was putting the pressure, and, Tomac gets around Roxon, and then he goes up and gets around Seeley, and then Roxon realizes, hey, I can't lose 5 points. I got to get around Seeley. It was a carbon copy of round 1 the way they finished. But it was a good night, and, he's up on the podium, and I'm talking about Eli Tomac. He says, yeah, I kind of been sick this week to add a little bit of a, salt to the wound there to the other guys. But Roxon says, he's okay. He's just got to get up there and battle a little bit more. But it's all about Eli Tomac. I mean, 3 wins for him on the season, and those 3 guys, I mean, they were riding hard. They just checked out. And the 4th place guy was Osborne, was way back there, and then behind Osborne was Jake Canada. But it was all Eli Tomac again.
Good ride for Canada, and you mentioned how those 3 checked out. At one point in the middle part of the race, those 3 up front, Roxon, Tomac, and Seeley, their lap times were +2 on the rest of the field. Then Osborne picked it up, but even then, Eli's best lap was 1.5 seconds faster than Osborne's best lap for the entire main.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, he's just hungry. He's just driving into the corners harder, getting on the throttle that much harder. He just wants it. I mean, you can see it out there in his riding style. He's aggressive, and when you hook up like that, it's like almost like a freight train in drafting. Those guys just pulled away from the rest of the pack.
3 races, 3 victories for the #1 plate. Perhaps a repeat performance this year in the works in the West for Eli Tomac. Moving to the 450 class was that other #1 plate. This time back where he belongs up front, but again, it took some work from Ryan Villopoto.
Oh, we kind of knew it, coming in. I mean, his lap times were good all day long. I mean, they were solid, and then all of a sudden he comes out for the heat race, hole shots, and just checked out and left James Stewart, and you knew it was his night at that point. I even talked to Trey Kennard at one point, and he had said, Ryan Villopoto was on all night, and you saw it. But you know what? He didn't get that good start again. His teammate collects that $1,500, and I'm talking about Jake Weimer for that Nuclear Cowboys hole shot. And Villopoto was in 6. At one point, Reed passed him early. I'm going, oh, you're gonna, but he kept his calm, he kept his cool, worked up, made all the passes, and it was his night tonight. But it was slick out there for the guys.
Yeah, good ride for Weimer. He comes home in 5th. Tough break for Justin Barsha, and we don't know if it is a break, but he came up short on a triple, rolled through the whoops, and then threw his bike down in obvious pain.
Yeah, anytime you come up short on a whoops, I'm not sure what happened on that. I mean, it looked like he went underneath a couple guys, but maybe he should have double singled. But it's always easier to second guess things. But I do believe when he came up short, he hit his face on the handlebars and everything, and it's like getting hit by a professional boxer at that point. I mean, when you drop out of the sky like that and you face a triple jump, but hopefully he'll be all right, and hopefully we'll see him in Oakland.
Okay, we didn't mention Trey Kennard, who came home in 2nd again. That could have been 3 straight 2nd places and the points lead for Kennard had he not washed it out last week. But another fantastic performance for this rider. Back 1 year ago was the fateful night in Los Angeles.
Yeah, and he was happy. I mean, he was happy with that 2nd spot. And talking with him, he didn't have a good week of riding this week. He just kind of really didn't feel it. But anytime you can get on the podium, it's a great thing. But he's just a few points out of that point lead. Davey Millsap still has that point lead. He's going to have that red background again when we head up to Oakland next weekend. But I thought that Trey Kennard, he rode well. I mean, for all things considered. And then, Chad Reed finishing on the podium. He's got a 4.43. And, Chad was, he just wasn't happy with himself. He just, he knows that he got a gift. Davey Millsaps, he was out there battling back and forth, eating a lot of roost. And, he passed Millsaps one time. Millsaps passed him back. They're kind of cat and mousing each other. And then all of a sudden, Millsaps loses the rear end coming out of the last corner before you go on the starting line there. And Chad gets a 3rd. But Chad's better. He said, hey, my times were good, and he looked good, looked a little bit more comfortable. It's going to take a couple more races, but Chad definitely wants to win one of these things. You can see it in his eyes when he's up on that podium.
All right, I'm not sure if the TV caught it. Save of the night goes to Josh Grant, who came up short on a triple and then nearly launched off the next corner. Not sure if that one will make the broadcast or not.
Yeah, no, I mean, a lot of guys had problems out here tonight.
Very technical track. It seemed like there were places where a lot of time could be made up or lost.
Yeah, I think more so lost than made up. I mean, it was just one of those tracks that it was slick here tonight, and it was due to the fact that the weather. I mean, we had almost 80 degrees here during practice session. You got to get the moisture in, and that moisture started coming up tonight, and it was slick out there.
Okay, racing was the primary news tonight, but the night show started with a huge announcement from a man who's been in this game a very long time. Kevin Windham announces his retirement.
Yeah, you know, it's unfortunate. Kevin really wanted to try to go to 2014. He's done, you know, 20 seasons in the game of Supercross. Unfortunately, it's just one of those things. I mean, that's something when I was riding, when I retired, and, you know, I got to start thinking about what I'm doing out there. It's just not coming natural, and Kevin was feeling that. I talked to him after and went in the pits and, you know, gave him a big hug and said, hey, man, thanks for all the memories, because it's tough whenever you got to hang up the sport that you love. It's hard, and I know Kevin Windham, I mean, he was just such a great ambassador, I mean, for the sport. I mean, you could see that in opening ceremonies, and everybody gave him a standing ovation when he took his lap around here. I mean, it's just hard, you know, it's another chapter of his life. He's going to turn the page, but Kevin Windham, what a true champion he is, and it's sad to see him go, but on the other hand, you know, that opens up a bike for Eli Tomac on that East Coast.
Yeah, we couldn't say enough good things about Kevin Windham, about what he's done. What really exemplified it was the amount of people that came out for opening ceremonies. It was jam-packed down there. Everyone wanted to get a piece of Kevin and say congratulations on a fantastic career. I don't think he's gone. I think he'll be back. He'll be around this for a long time, just not as a rider. I think you're going to see him around here quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, some riders you see that, you know, they retire and you don't see him ever again. But yeah, like you said, Kevin will be around. You know, I saw his wife Dottie gave her a big hug, and you know, I mean, as a rider, you come here and you ride that first practice, and I mean, he came out and he says, "That's it, I'm done." I mean, it was just sudden. Everybody was in awe and just shocked that Kevin Windham's retiring, but you know, he's a great guy, and he'll be missed, that's for sure.
Congratulations, Eli Tomac. Congratulations, Ryan Villapoto, and congratulations to Kevin Windham on a fantastic career. But we will be back next week, going to Oakland. We'll have more Supercross Live. Of course, our pre-hit in the morning, an opportunity for you to see the track, plus 3 hours of live practice, rider interviews, and this wrap-up in the end of the night. For Jim, I'm Kevin. Supercross Live closed for another night.